Look, I got woken up just to make this video, so it's important, okay? Not important like it'll get a million views, but it'll be very important for one person, two, okay? I'm tired, but I'm full of inspiration for this video. I'll start it with a story. Around when the pandemic was going on, uh, I was frequenting a psychiatrist because I have tried 5 psychologists already, and they all disappointed me in the how is anyone going to understand my own mind better than me type of way. But they didn't even get close. It's like I already had all my life feeling as an alien, and these people made me feel even worse because they just didn't understand me. Like, not even, I mean, they understood the situations because I can speak clearly, but they didn't fucking, get to understanding how I was feeling. For example, because they didn't live it. How could they know? Because they read it on a book? I don't think so, pal. So then I decide, okay, I should try psychiatrist because clearly my issues are too advanced. I need someone smarter who has more college degrees. This is not how I actually think life works at all. But I'm saying how I probably thought about it back then. So I go to him and he's definitely, smarter, but also more detached, whatever. And then the first thing that I noticed that is really funny is that because I was going to work to an office back then, and well, my depression that I've had with me all my life, because how can you not be depressed like in this world, right? I'll just put the koala picture here because I don't want to like start talking about that too much. So I noticed that if I told him for 3 months, I waste my energy, like seriously, trying to convey all my pain and horror to him, not because I want to play the victim, because I actually want help. Like, I was reading psychiatry books because I was desperate to try to understand myself because I had such a level of neurosis, basically, like aggressive overthinking, like 2 thoughts per second, like insanity, right? Yeah, I try my best to convey to him, hoping like, oh my god, he'll like blow me away with his diagnosis and solution, right? But for 3 months I, well, sadly told him everything, like every last detail of my trauma, all this shit, just so he doesn't do anything. Until, interestingly, one day I say, listen, my depression, like, this happened just yesterday, and I couldn't wake up properly because I was so depressed to go to the fucking office, to go to the job, the work. So he instantly says, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I'll prescribe you antidepressants. Like, bro, I've been telling you the most traumatizing thing for 3 months in excruciating detail, way worse than not being able to wake up for your fucking job. Like, trust me, like, so much worse. And you do nothing. But the second that I say I can't function, it's like you want me to write like Pink Floyd songs with that theme of antidepressants. They're just a tool for, I don't know, whatever Serge Tankian said in his song too. What's it called? Doesn't matter, I won't remember. So it's almost like too graphic, like explicit, like obscene. Like, shouldn't you try to make it like seem like it's not that obvious? No, apparently not. So it gets worse. He also officially diagnoses me with ADHD at some point. In fact, I think I actually got him to agree with me that I had it because I couldn't concentrate at anything that I was doing. It was insane. So of course, giving me meth is going to help. But here's where it gets to the actual point. In 2020, in the pandemic, he like ghosts me for some reason, right? Because everyone's worried about like the virus, I guess. So, and he maybe is not ready for online consultations. I don't care, right? The thing is, he ghosts me, and suddenly I don't have access to my beloved pills. Anyway, he had tried giving me antidepressants that I quit after a while because they made me feel like and I rather feel sad. At least it's real. And then the ADHD pills I actually loved because who wouldn't want to be more productive, right? Of course, I love meth. I'm a junkie, an ex-junkie, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, they're very good. So obviously, he cut my supply. I was like, damn, like that kind of sucks because honestly, yeah, they were kind of helping with my depression because I didn't go into this vicious cycles of beating myself up over not being able to do stuff. So honestly, I can't imagine how taking fucking meth or amphetamines can be good for you in the long run. Maybe I could have taken them for 1 year, maybe something like this. But he cut me off at 3 months, which of course turned out to be a blessing in disguise. So here's how that went. I then go to a different psychiatrist's office and I say explicitly, very clearly what happened. Like they ghosted me. I just need these pills because concentration, blah, blah, blah. And the new guy goes, oh, okay, got you. I cannot give you those exact pills. It was Ritalin, but I'll give you something that works just the same. 30 minutes consultation, by the way. Okay, so I go out to the street with my little receipt that you should take to the pharmacy, right? The thing is, he couldn't give me Ritalin because he didn't have like he skipped some like you have to go to a different college, higher study, like a master's, like I'm bullshit like this, right? So he didn't have such high privileges as the previous one, right? So this was a lower drug in a sense that all psychiatrists could prescribe. This is my only point. So I go to the pharmacy. Actually, I don't quite go to the pharmacy, but I am on my way to get the pills that are supposedly going to help me with my concentration issues, right? Something like amphetamines. Take a look at the receipt. I use Google and look up the exact name of the drug, and the dude had prescribed to me antipsychotics based on my 30 minutes explanation of how I was slightly depressed and wish that I hadn't been ghosted by the guy who was, giving me pills that helped with my ADHD. Turns out ADHD, the way that I see it now, you don't have to agree or get offended, but it doesn't exist, okay? It's just like you don't give a shit about what you're doing. You can't fake motivation. This is normal, okay? So I hated my job, okay? It makes sense. So the thing is, he gave me antipsychotics. So I instantly broke the receipt thing and threw it to the garbage and gave up officially the healthcare mental health complex, right? That was all my attempts. If someone was going to be able to heal me, it was going to be me. And indeed, I did. Interestingly, as you know, I didn't have psychosis back then. But a few years later, I could have psychosis, right? So could you say like he was a psychic? He predicted the future, He could tell that I was psychotic in advance. He was that good? No, he was a dumbass. Psychosis is a super surge of fear energy that all your bodies, your energetic centers, whatever, right? Doesn't matter the words, but they can't handle it. Handle, in this case, could be being able to process it at once. For example, if you have a little trauma that happens, you get mugged in the street, which has happened to me, then for the next days you're going to be very fearful and you'll be able to rationalize this fear and have thoughts that seem like according, to the fear. It's like, oh, don't go out to this place because you get mugged again, or avoid these new places, or take a few weeks off from going to the street as you recover. This means, in a sense, that your whole system is processing the fear very well, I guess, because it's like giving you reasonable thoughts and reasonable this and reasonable that. Now, if you were to hypothetically receive suddenly one day the fear of 5 lifetimes of abuse, just an example, okay? You don't have to believe in past lives, but imagine, right, that you get suddenly like so much fear that is unreasonable, like it didn't have an origin that you could know. Then this could make your system explode, and this explosion will manifest as psychosis. Basically, they provide with a spiritual awakening. Now, this is not as foo-foo as it sounds. Like, it's not like you start walking on clouds or on water. In fact, what is happening is that you access your subconscious mind. And if your subconscious mind was full of fear for some reason, then you'll have to purge that fear, right? And it's going to manifest as psychosis. Now, the thing here is that most people want to medicated to make the symptoms go away, right? I mean, hell, they wanted to medicate me for psychosis even when I didn't have psychosis. So imagine if I went to the doctor and said like, yo, the voices in my head are like speaking to each other and like it's fucking insane. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, instantly, they could have given pills to shut that off. Now, is that purging or is it more like masking and covering up with many band-aids? Let you think about that, but it's pretty obvious. Luckily, at the point that this happened, I already had a lot of training in, purging my energies, and I used to be so full of ego, the spiritual kind, back then, because honestly, in 2022, 2023, I was like cruising. It was like really easy for me to meditate and align all my energies and just feel good. My cervical, like my entire back was like perfectly aligned and I felt good. I healed my depression. It was like easy. It took me a few years, but still. And then suddenly like I hit with this wave of crazy fear. Like I couldn't even like go, like nothing happened on my life, right? And from one day to the next, I suddenly can go down the stairs to like, it's kind of funny. Like, when you order like Uber Dash or what the fuck, Uber Dash? No, that's a combination of two things. Uber Eats or DoorDash, something like this. I was scared of like the guy, whatever guy, each time that I order, like murdering me or stabbing me. Like I was like shaking. Like I literally went down to receive the the delivery with like a white gun. Is that how you say it? Like a knife, basically. Because I was fucking terrified for no reason. It was totally not rational, and it took a lot of time to get away. Now I'm back to normal. I can go, to the Uber Eats without a knife. And secretly shaking, like dissociating, like, oh, hey, can I have my food? Yeah, thank you. What's up? Like, just normal again. But I don't know where all that fear came from. That's the interesting part. And I know also that if I hadn't had all the training, then they could have medicated me. And that medication would have stopped whatever process that fear purge was supposed to do. Now, do I recommend it? Is it worth it? Like, is this what you want to hear maybe? Your soul, if it's destined for something like this, a spiritual awakening, can have chosen many different ways of achieving the same result. The catalyst can be a super depressive episode, like whatever. Like you hear all the stories, even like Jim Carrey. Like I don't give a shit. I don't know if I like him. He seems too like detached. That makes me like sad. I'm not judging anyone. I'm just saying like, I don't know, it just seems like he's like super depressed. Like, yeah, he had some spiritual insight, but I don't know, I'm talking about him. I'm just saying, like, you hear all the examples, like I think Eckhart Tolle also, his awakening was initiated via super depression. But in my case, it was like via severe psychosis. So I'm just sharing it in case it resonates, even if it's just with one person, so it helps you go through it. You can like write to me and I will help you. I'm not doing these videos for any other reason. Let's say if there's something else that I could say. I got lucky that my trust in that medical system had been broken, and that by the time the psychosis started, I also had already a lot of spiritual insight. For example, depression itself, it's on the nervous system basically, and you can heal it as well without antidepressants. So by this time I like truly had lost hope, not only in the professionals of psychiatry and psychologists, which clearly didn't cause me a lot of trust, but also in the whole concept of it, that they can heal you with pills and shit like this. Like, no, like I already know that's not how it is. So okay, my battery is dying, so I'll just make some other video some other day. Hope this helped or provided some insight.